You're listening to Counterclockwise, where we decide the best of unimportant categories. How are you there today, sir?
After 4.5 long, grueling years, I have finally cut the locks.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
Yeah. Do you have how amputees have phantom limb? Do you have phantom ponytail?
I have phantom brushing my hair around my ear.
Yeah.
And no, but it's been time. It's been time for a long time, but I finally had the courage to do it. And shout out to Mood Studio here in town. They did an excellent job. I couldn't be happier with it.
Yeah.
He literally did exactly. I gave him a picture. He's like, all right,
cool,
done.
That's nice. That's always, it's always nice when you can get somebody that's that reliable,
right,
as a barber.
And this was my first time. I've never been
that's
there.
nice.
Yeah,
it's kind of like when I first moved to the town where I live now. I didn't have a barber there, so I had to just find somebody, and just pulled up some random local one. I'm like, I feel like this is owned by an old guy, and that's what I want, is just some old man to do it, because I feel like they're more reliable. They don't get in their head as much. And I walk in, he's like, what do you want? I showed him my license. Okay. Normally, they take some time. They gotta trim it. They'll maybe use scissors at first to get some of the big stuff. He just takes out his clippers and goes wing, 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 all the way across my head. I'm like, oh my god, he's just gonna butcher me. What's happening?
Yeah.
But it was the best haircut I've ever gotten.
Yeah,
it was
man.
crazy.
It was great because I was there for 2 hours. It took 2 hours to cut the hair and do everything, style it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And every barber I've been to, not including this one, has always, I swear, trying to set the world record for how quick they can do a haircut, right?
Yeah.
Nah, man. He took his time and, was very, I don't know if perfectionist is the right word.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean that in a bad way, but it was he was making sure every detail was right.
Yeah,
and he took his time, and I'm like, man, I can appreciate that. I told him that, and he goes, yeah, I get that a lot. I just feel I don't know why everybody feels like they have to be in a hurry when they're cutting hair. And I'm like, hey, props to you, because I've been saying I was going to do it, and then, I never did it.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the reason for that is because you have to call to make an appointment, and that is stupid.
I've definitely put off haircuts for
literally
months
because I have to make a
of
phone
that.
call
Yeah.
and interact with a stranger.
Yeah.
This, I could just go onto their page, book appointment, and just show up.
That was another reason I chose my barbers. They only take walk-ins.
Oh, that's
you
perfect.
just show up and they put you in a chair.
That's perfect.
Great.
It also helps that it's a couple, soon to be married. They own the studio.
Yeah.
Well, I work with the one person at the bar, because I'm kind of a bartender.
Yeah, you're something of a bartender yourself.
I'm kind of something sort of like that. I'm in the bartender area.
Yeah,
The ballpark,
bartender adjacent.
The ballpark, if you will. But I had talked to her a while ago about this, because I was asking her the proper way, because as you know, I'm donating it.
Yeah. Because it was, what did you say? They cut off 18 inches?
They cut off 18 full inches.
Yeah.
You need 10 minimum.
Yeah.
So I could have cut it a while ago.
Yeah.
But I had talked to her, and she was like, yeah, you just gotta, tell me exactly what the length on the sides needs to be before I go in.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, okay, but I want to cut the ponytail. So I promised her the ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
And then her fiance did the rest.
Yeah.
And it was quite funny, because I walk in, I'm nervous. I don't remember the last time I was that nervous about something.
Yeah.
And
It's been, how long has it been since you were in a barber chair?
August of 2020.
Whew. Yeah. And that's a lot of hair. I mean, you worked obviously 5 years or 4.5 years to get to where you were. That's a lot of progress to just lop off.
I'm I'm kind of panicking, but I'm like, no, I'm committed. I'm doing it. And I walk in, and of course, she has two clients already there, and he's waiting for me. Then she was explaining the backstory to me, and then I'm getting 20 questions from the two clients, and then she comes over and braids my hair to get ready to cut it. And man, the two clients are hand over their mouth, eyes wide open. I'm center stage. I'm very oh God, there's no turning back now. And she was like, you can back out. She's like, you ready? And I'm like, You can back out anytime. I'm like, I'm here. I'm not gonna just sit in the chair.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't Cedar Point where I stay in line and then go through
walk through
through it just to go through the exit. No, I'm here. So she started cutting it, and I was like I got goosebumps. I swear to God, I got goosebumps.
I'm sure it's like almost like cutting off a part of your body. I mean, it is a part of your body.
I will say I feel like I have a little more confidence now.
You think so?
Yeah, and I mentioned to you earlier, I'm tired of it getting caught in my zipper.
Yeah.
I'm tired of sleeping and like I try to roll over and it's like gets caught at my shoulder. I'm tired of like sitting downstairs and the dogs are just standing on it because they have no sense of personal space. And it's just it was due time.
Yeah.
It was due time.
Well, it looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a good length.
Thank you. Yeah. I didn't want it to be like the old short-haired me.
Yeah.
Where I really didn't have much to do with.
Got a little up top to
and
mess around with.
Funny, there's the only product in my hair, it's not like gel or spray or anything. It's like a powder. You just kind of like sprinkle it in your roots and you can just give it any look you want.
Huh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
But it's real expensive.
Not really. It's like
really.
like $7.
Huh.
It's a little thing like this big.
Yeah. Huh. Cool. I'll have to check that out.
You only have to use a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to look into that one.
Yep.
Anyway, the chubby kid with the archery set across the table from me is my favorite brother, Brandon Wise. I'm Tyler Wise, and up next, I wish I knew how to quit you. Ultimate Showdown, Valentine's Day edition, coming up in about 23 seconds.
Are you ready?
You are looking live.
They're fighting. They're swinging. Down goes Anderson. Down goes Anderson.
Piece of you. I want the whole thing.
Are you kidding? What a despicable act that was. No. Right through the glass window of the barber shop.
So this escalated after it de-escalated.
Ding, ding.
I've been snorting a lot when I laugh.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about? Like when you just laugh too much,
Yeah.
or whatever. Like I never used to do that. I've noticed that I've just been snorting a lot when things are funny, and I'm like, what is happening? Like normally it's fine, but then every once in a while I'll notice it, especially if I do it multiple times in a row. Like if I'm watching a funny TV show or something, and I just keep snorting to myself. I'm like, what is this? Who have I become? I'm a laugh snorter, I guess. I don't know.
You've become our mother.
Yeah,
It's genetics.
I think it is what it. I mean, it'll only become a problem as far as like noses are concerned when I start sneezing 17 times in a row. Then it might become an issue because it is just a weird thing, the sneezing thing. Because there are other people that are like that. It's not just mom.
You ever think mom gets tired of her catching strays like every episode?
Sometimes it's good strays. I mean, she's got to be used to it. This is just like being around us normally.
Yeah.
She's always just catching strays for no reason. We'll be having a completely separate conversation. She's across the room talking to somebody else, and she'll just hear us making random comments. We just have an aside randomly. Oh, that reminds me of something goofy mom did once. Oh, man. But anyway, we are here for a reason. I don't know why my voice got so sensual. Is that sensual or like creepy? In a world where people put together fights based on Valentine's Day. This is terrible. I can't. I was trying. I was really trying to improv something, and it wasn't going very well. But here we are. It's our Valentine's Day. What were you gonna say?
Tonight on Dateline. Did the boyfriend do it? Yes, he did. Good night.
That just about wraps it up. Was there a life insurance policy in there anywhere? No? Okay. Well, then it's him.
Well, I mean, if they got injured at work while doing it, you know who to call.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, Valentine's Day is today?
It's today.
Yeah, we're early in present day, but when you're listening to this, hopefully you listened on the day we released. Otherwise, it's late. But I don't know. I'm lost. I'm losing it. I think my brain's just like on a different planet today. I can't finish any of the sentences I start. Whew, we're on something here. Ultimate Showdown.
Gotta grease those gears in your brain right now. Bud.
I gotta bring it in. Just roll them all into something. I don't know what any of that was. Valentine's Day Ultimate Showdown is what we're here for today.
Correct.
I put together the card.
Mm-hmm.
I got some dark matches for you.
Okay.
They're all on theme with the day, the holiday of love, I guess, right? Is that the point?
Sure.
Or is it to sell candy? I don't know.
It's a great time.
Before we get started with the matches, I have a pre-show performance for you. Okay. Not the national anthem, just a guy singing a song. Every once in a while they bring out somebody. Here's a song by this guy.
Like Jelly Roll at SummerSlam.
Exactly. Pre-show performance. Naturally, we have John Cafferty performing Hearts on Fire from the Rocky IV soundtrack.
Yep.
No, I mean, who else would you have for Valentine's Day?
Is Rocky running the stadium steps during? like running with the... Well, I guess it wouldn't be the American flag. He just wave, carrying a flag with a heart on it or something, like an arrow.
Probably. Yeah. Like the Heartbreakers logo.
Yeah.
With a guitar flying through it.
Yes, Jen, I love you.
That was like Stallone if he was playing... What's his name from the Goonies?
Yeah, Sloth.
Sloth from the Goonies, yeah. Baby Ruth.
Slothkey.
Slothkey.
Slothkey. Slothkey.
Okay. After that beautiful performance by John Cafferty.
Brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah,
really
exactly.
Did. Really did.
We have some dark matches here. First one, it's pretty good. You know, I would like to say, not to toot my own horn, some of these individual people, at least the dark matches, you might see coming. I'm confident, except for maybe one, you're not going to expect any of these. These are so random and off the wall. I'm just saying it. I'm going to put it out there. I'm not a betting man. Actually, I am kind of. Not really lately. I haven't bet like at all in the last. I don't think I bet at all like this past year.
I got locked out of my DraftKings account.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What happened?
I forgot
like a login thing.
Well, I forgot my password, and you only get a certain amount of times to enter it.
Yeah,
and
that'll do it.
I used one of the three I thought it was, and then I got locked out. And it's like you have to call customer service. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, you can just enjoy my $20 because I'm not going to call about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I prefer my account being locked out because then I don't have the incentive to lose more money.
That's probably a good thing. Yeah. I think I might have bet on some of the NFL playoff games last year.
Although
then I think I put money on the Guardians to win the World Series like before the season started, just because the odds were like plus 3,000 or whatever.
I think I am gonna have to bite the bullet and call him though, because I'm pretty sure I think I put money on Ohio State winning it all.
Oh, really?
Like before the season started.
Yeah, you got to get that.
So
payout.
I think I do got to call. I keep forgetting about it though.
What were the odds on that? They have probably not terribly great.
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, not the best. I mean, it was like probably fifth best odds or something like that. Yeah. Third or fourth. I don't know.
Yeah.
Gambling is like drinking. You're always going to tell yourself you're not going to do it again, but you're going to do it again.
Yeah. You really got to have like some kind of big life-changing moment that cuts you off.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so we got some dark matches here. First off, we have Gossamer, the big hairy red monster from the Looney Tunes.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that for a while, that his name's Gossamer. I think they only mentioned that in one episode. He's in a bunch of them, but usually he's just like the monster or whatever.
Yeah.
So we have Gossamer versus Marvel's Black Panther in a heart-shaped herb versus heart-shaped monster match. What? You're looking at me quizzically.
Heart-shaped herb.
That's the plant they use.
Yeah, that's the plant they use to give. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot it was heart-shaped. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
that's
yeah.
very obscure, but okay.
Yeah, it was really random. I think I wrote down heart-shaped monster, and then just like the first word that kind of I thought of was heart-shaped herb afterward. I was like, Black Panther for no reason. Sure. That one went to the Black Panther. He's faster, stronger, smarter.
Yeah.
He's easily outsmarting that big hairy goof. I mean, if if he could get beaten several times by Bugs Bunny, I think the Black Panther can handle him. Next one, we have classic Romeo Dobbs of the Green Bay Packers and Juliette Lewis versus Kevin James's brother, Gary Valentine.
Okay.
You know who that is?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
And Melody Valentine, the drummer of Josie and the Pussycats, in a mixed tag match. I cannot speak today. I'm losing it. I'm telling you. Yeah, so that was a well-fought battle, but I think we're going with Dobbs and Lewis on that one.
Sure.
You got a professional athlete and Juliette Lewis. She seems like scrappy, I guess. I don't know. And then the next one, Romeo Dobbs' teammate Jordan Love and Jalen Hurts.
Ooh, Love Hurts. I get it.
Versus Nazareth, the band who sang Love Hurts.
Okay. Okay.
That one went to Love and Hurts.
You don't think an
Pretty
entire
much
band
just
could take on two people?
Yeah, but like, do you really think they're going to be able to like hold up two professional football players?
How much cocaine are they on?
This is present day Nazareth. I feel like they've probably cut that.
Okay.
Most of it.
All right, if it's present day, sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Definitely like old men from Nazareth. I don't know how many members there are. 4 or 5. Anyway, last one we have is Kevin Hart versus Corey Hart, the guy famous for Sunglasses at Night. That one was pretty easily Kevin Hart because Corey was impaired by wearing his sunglasses inside. He can't see very well, so he's yeah. So that was that.
I just have a pretty funny visual with Kevin Hart and Corey Hart. I like how Corey Hart's just sticking to the bit of wearing his sunglasses inside, not realizing it's to his detriment.
Yeah, he doesn't realize that he's only seeing like half of what he needs to.
And I feel
I
like,
imagine they're very dark.
Yeah.
If you're wearing your sunglasses at night, you got to be cool enough that they're like real dark sunglasses.
Yeah, so I picture that, and then just Kevin Hart like goofying him to death.
Yeah. I learned this from The Rock. And he probably can't do any of the things that The Rock can do, but he might be able to get like a people's elbow in there. Just a really tiny people's elbow.
Yeah.
It's coming down like 2 feet lower than the... Anyway, so on to the main card.
Tubular.
I only have 3 of them this time, but that's probably good because all of our past couple episodes have been really, really long, and I didn't want this to be a 2-parter
I don't
again.
think we need another 2-parter. Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, first one, our opener. We have the Miner from My Bloody Valentine versus the Miner 49er from Scooby-Doo.
Of course.
Yeah. Naturally, with the kind of guys you got here, this is a death match. Just has to be done.
Yeah.
Now, here's the fun part: is that this is in a ring inside a mine. It's like built within a mine.
Okay.
It's basically like a cave. So think like stalagmites, stalactites, that kind of thing. And there's like a mine rail, it's like kind of like a train, like a railroad almost. There's one of those rails that surrounds the ring, and there's 2 of those little mine cars. Mm-hmm. So there's 2 of those on the track or on the rail, and it surrounds the ring. Outside of that, though, just steep cliffs. There's just like a ravine surrounding the ring. So if you go outside that rail, you just like plummet to your death. So it's a little precarious out there.
Okay, so that's if you get thrown over the ropes, you just fall to your death?
Not over the ropes, because if you throw over the ropes, right outside the ring is that rail. So there's like a little bit of a landing spot there.
So the rail is basically like the barricade on the floor.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
You go out onto the floor, and there's a little rail, so there's probably maybe 5-6 feet of space there, and then beyond that, yeah, just a sharp cliff. And now here's the twist, I guess, is that there's dynamite and pickaxes inside those cars. So you can go out there, use those weapons, but then you're putting yourself at risk by being right there on the edge.
Oh, goodness.
So Little details about the contestants here, about the competitors.
What I was looking at.
The miner from My Bloody Valentine. Spoiler alert for like a 40-year-old movie. In that one, we find out that the miner, at least like the majority of the movie, is just a high school kid who was like traumatized by the original miner back in the 60s or whatever year it was. And he's his name's Axel Palmer. Did I say that? High school kid. He's deranged, obviously. He's a serial killer, killed a bunch of people. And then at the end, he cuts off his own arm to escape capture. I think he ultimately ends up dying from that. But, like, that's the kind of savagery we're working with here, that he was able to just, like, lop off his own arm because he got trapped. Miner 49er, not quite as ruthless. Basically just an old man on stilts.
Yep.
He's kind of strong for an old man.
But the stilts come into play here big time.
Yeah, he's kind of strong for an old man and runs well despite being on stilts, but still, he's on stilts. He does have home field advantage because he actually knows the mines a little bit, unlike the other guy who's just a high school kid that put on a miner suit. The Miner 49er actually does know the lay of the land down there, knows how it works, knows how to use the dynamite.
Okay.
I think at first glance, your gut is just to say the miner because he's a serial killer, of course, versus an old guy on stilts, which gives him some height, but like it's still just like a short old man.
I also feel like, yeah, Scooby-Doo and the gang, they're good at like getting down monsters and stuff, but they got to like come up with an elaborate mousetrap plan.
Yeah.
And it always fails the first time.
Mm-hmm. And usually they just kind of like stumble into it. It ended up working.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work, but then somehow they still get trapped by some other third thing.
Right. And so I think the advantage here lies with the miner because he's a fucking psychopath.
Absolutely. But he is also young and he's just like ruthless. That's why he ends up killing a bunch of people.
And prone to more prone to mistakes.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like, is the Miner 49er a little more cunning, able to kind of take advantage of those derangement? Is that a word?
I think the miner probably comes at him fast and loose, and 49er has to kind of adjust here.
Yeah,
right.
He's got to. Yeah, he's
so
definitely got to.
That's when he gets to the outside to the weapons and everything.
Yeah, I would think like maybe he comes at him kind of swinging wild, and then he maybe uses his height to kind of like stem the violence a little bit there, and maybe uses his kind of wildness to get him outside the ring.
Yeah,
and then he kind of disables him for a little bit, puts him down for a second, and then he can kind of sneak out and he's like, I need to get some backup here.
So this is a death match.
Yeah.
Okay, on one hand, the 49er gets foiled by a bunch of potheads. But the miner, obviously the miner loses in the end because he's a kid, that's how that works. So
yeah.
he is vulnerable to death.
Yeah, this one's tough. I don't know. I feel like it's going to be hard to actually like get that guy down and out to be able to like slow him down enough to get a good swing on him.
Yeah. Or
to like shove him over the edge or something.
And Hank, the guy who is revealed as the Miner 49er, he is an old dude.
Yeah, he's just an old guy. He's probably like in his 60s maybe.
And the picture I'm looking at right now of him, he looks just really tired.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good match most of the match.
Yeah.
With everybody using, like, emptying all the bullets with the weapons on the side.
Yeah. I think the miner's pretty good at, like, hiding inside the mine car. So maybe he, like, gets a good run and then just kind of...
And if you can do that...
suddenly he looks up and...
And if you could do that on stilts, man...
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, he moves pretty well. Nobody suspects that he's on stilts the whole time.
Also, by the way, I can't believe you glossed over the fact that you like literally dressed as the 49er one year for my Halloween party.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That was your first costume, right? That was the first party.
I think it was the first one, yeah.
Yeah. You were rocking out in the Miner 49er while I had my Johnny Bravo wig on.
Yep.
That was good.
That was a horribly uncomfortable beard.
I bet.
And it was always in the way. The mustache part was always in my mouth. So I had to like fold it down after a while because I got tired of it. And then I just looked like an Amish farmer. Like, it was bad.
An Amish farmer. Jedediah.
Yeah. Man, I don't know if the smarts of the 49er are really going to really hold up long enough for him to to be able to do it. I feel like the minor is ravenous enough that he's just going to pull out all the stops, and he's not gonna let this guy take advantage of him too much. The 49er will get his licks in, I think, but the minor, I think, is just going to take the pounding and keep on coming.
I don't think the stilts are revealed until later on, and once the stilts are revealed,
then he's
like,
gonna,
oh,
yeah.
like,
all it takes is probably one whack with a pickaxe, and he's done.
He's probably like, oh, why didn't I check this before? Or
yeah, exactly.
I think once he finds out he's on stilts, just gotta take one out and then just pickaxe to the face. Like I think it's pretty simple.
Yeah, I think so.
Like that old man's gonna get tired out pretty quickly too.
Yeah, just maybe just even shove the mine car at his way. Like he's probably not gonna be able to jump that. He's not gonna clear it with those stilts on. Like, he might be able to run okay, but you're not jumping very high in those.
Unless his stilts were made out of solid titanium, which they weren't.
Yeah.
Back in the 60s.
They were like the sprinter things where they were like the amputee where they have the what are those things called? Little like runner thingies. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Like they're
it's like
curved.
It's like a boat and they're bouncy. Yeah. Unless he's got those, then he
solid medical terminology right there.
Yeah. Bouncy.
The bouncy curve leg thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think the stilts are too much of a disadvantage, and he's just old. He's just an old guy.
I just think
he doesn't have the stamina.
Yeah, he gets worn down pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Once he realizes that he's on stilts, he's like, "Oh Jesus!"
Yeah,
like,
he's just kind of like he can just huck the thing at him. He doesn't even have to get close.
Yeah.
Takes out his legs and then just like one kick over the edge, and he's done.
Yeah,
it's ultimately the minor.
Yeah,
you agree?
I agree.
Cool.
Ding ding.
All right. The second match here, we got some women in this one. Actually, it's all women. Actually, it's all the same person. We have Ludmila Vobet-Drago.
Oh my God.
Versus Ingrid Knudsen, which is Brigitte Nielsen's character from Cobra. So Brigitte Nielsen from Rocky IV, again, we got another Rocky IV reference, versus Brigitte Nielsen's character from Cobra, with a special referee of Carla Fry, who's Brigitte Nielsen from Beverly Hills Cop 2.
Oh my
God. Yeah. And the winner gets to marry and then quickly divorce Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, I would want you might marry me too much. Yo, why you just leave me? Why you just leave me with the house and the kid? Why you just walk out the house?
I thought we had something special.
Stop.
Don't call me Marion.
Or my mom will track you down.
Anyway, so Drago, we have there are qualifications here in this match, and this is just a regular pin submission match, your standard wrestling match here. Drago is the wife / manager, I guess, of the top Russian amateur boxer of 1984 or 85. Also, not against juicing. Knudsen, again from Cobra. She was a model. She's vaguely European, and starts to handle herself by the end of the movie. She gets a little more badass, has like a leather jacket, I think.
Well, yeah, that's your coronation.
She basically turns into Sandy at the end of Grease.
In any 80s movie, as soon as you get the leather jacket, you've been crowned.
Yeah, that's like the graduation ceremony from regular person to badass.
Yeah. And regardless if it's been 45 minutes, just somehow
get that hair a little fluffier.
Yeah,
there we go, ready to go. So yeah, I think I feel like obviously physically is a pretty even match.
Well, I sure would
played
hope
by
so.
the same person. What do you think? Any thoughts? Any opening thoughts on this one?
Is there a third member, or was that the referee?
As a special referee was Carla Fry, who's Brigitte Nielsen from Beverly Hills Cop 2. You ever see Cop 2?
Yeah, been a while though.
Yeah, there's like a group of, I think that's the first one where they're art dealers. It's just like this. I don't even know what you call them, like a criminal, like a crime syndicate almost. It's like this group of criminals that are like robbing different places. They're called like the alphabet crimes or something like that because they all have like different letters and something. They're leaving letters behind. It's a weird, complicated thing. Anyway, but she's like the second in command almost. She like leads the group that are actually going in and robbing the places. She's the person that's like watching the stopwatch, knows how long the police are going to take to get there. She's like 4 more seconds.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she.
Yeah. Like she comes in and like kind of leads the charge and then is just like watching the stopwatch once the 911 call's made. She's like, 10 more seconds. And then they leave.
Okay.
So she's the referee. We know that she can keep time. Maybe she picked up some stuff from Ivan. Don't know where to start.
I have no idea where to start.
I can't remember all that much that happens at the end of Cobra. I just know that she like starts to like kind of handle herself because she's like completely helpless the whole movie until like toward the end. Then she starts to kind of help Cobretti helps him out a little bit at the end.
Oh God. I mean, I would lean towards Drago.
That's what I think.
To start and overall, because, like you said, very pro-juicer, ruthless. Because if you continue off the Rocky timeline onto the Creed timeline, in Creed 2, when Drago lost, she immediately left him because he was beneath her. He was a joke and
a laughing stock.
A laughing stock in
the entire nation.
Of the entire country of Russia. So, yeah. So she's not afraid to play dirty. Actually, she probably prefers to
ruthless.
play. Yeah.
I feel like she would underestimate Knudsen though.
Sure, like they did Rocky.
She's just like, she's just a model. She doesn't know what she's doing. She just got a leather jacket on. She doesn't know what she's doing. I was the wife of a boxer.
Yeah. She's also like has zero empathy when Apollo dies.
Yeah.
She eggs Drago on during every fight he's in. Like, I'm pretty sure she wants Drago to literally kill everybody.
Yeah.
Drago probably got a talking to every time he didn't kill somebody. I feel like he got a stern talking to.
Yeah.
Like, she held out on him if he didn't kill somebody.
Yeah, probably.
And I feel like Drago, the boxer, is afraid of her.
It really seems like it, the way she talks to him sometimes. I think she's pretty ruthless. She's not afraid to go the extra mile there to put somebody down. But I think she's probably looking down her nose at her competition. I think she might get kind of a rude awakening early on.
Also, at the end of the movie, at the final fight, when the fake Gorbachev guy comes down and he's like yelling at Drago and he like picks him up by one arm and that visual, and then you see her character like egging him on that, like, dude, they run the country, homegirl. She is not afraid at all. She's not even afraid of the Politburo. She's not gonna be afraid of her. I think Ingrid gets a lot of stiff shots in early because of that reason.
Yeah, she's just going to go wild. Like, this is what Marion Cobretti taught me.
Yeah.
But she probably doesn't have a whole lot of technique.
But ultimately...
She's just going to throw some haymakers.
But ultimately, I think Drago's juicing too. I think Mrs. Drago's definitely juicing.
Once she found out she had a match to prepare for, she's just like, I got a few extra vials.
Because I'm assuming this is post-Rocky Drago, so, she's already left him. So she's already pissed off because of that.
She's got to rebuild her reputation.
Yeah, so
I'm representing myself now.
She entered this fight to get back into the good graces of the Politburo and her and the Soviets. So it's like a squash match, but not a squash match, where the good guy gets a lot of.
It's supposed to be a squash match,
but it's not, and then
it's dragged out a little longer,
and then she's finally like, okay,
she realizes what she's up against, and then she takes her down.
And she's like, takes her seriously, and she's like, bitch, please.
Yeah, get out of here. Okay, that sounds good to me. That makes sense.
Cool.
Going with Drago.
Obviously going with Drago.
All right.
Ding ding.
For once, that actually is relevant to the match.
Right.
Last one. This one's dumb. Actually, it's pretty funny, but it is still kind of dumb. I just realized kind of have 2 Kevin James references in this one. Never thought that was going to happen. This last one, we have the actual just god of love, Cupid, versus Hitch from the movie Hitch and Deadshot from Suicide Squad.
Oh my God.
It's main event time.
This is a love and war match, and since all's fair in love and war, it's a no holds barred. It's just a regular match is part of it. The second part of this competition is that you also have to make 2 randomly selected audience members agree to a date. So you got like a fighter and a matchmaker. Cupid does both, and then you got Hitch and Deadshot that have to divide and conquer there.
So it's a triple threat, or it's Cupid versus those 2?
Those 2. It's the team of the 2 Will Smith characters versus Cupid in a handicap match. And then so the audience members, they have to agree to a date by the end of it, and then once that happens, then you also have to do a pin or submission, and then winner of both of those things. Oh, and also if you're worried about like free will or consent of the people, since Cupid's just magical and he can make people do whatever he wants, Will Smith from Men in Black will come out after the match and wipe their memories.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So, just so we're clear, don't want anybody to get weird about that one. So, first of all, the details. Cupid, god of desire, erotic love, attraction, affection, all of the above. I didn't mean to rhyme that. Bow and arrows.
It's like the 7th time.
I know. I don't know what this is. I'm really off my game today. He has a bow and arrows that make people fall in love. If he shoots you with an arrow, he can, you're overcome with affection or whatever. He's an actual god. He's like quote unquote immortal. He's stronger, more durable than a human. He's probably like think like Thor or whatever.
Yeah.
Except he's a child. He's child size. So he's like junior Thor. He flies also. That's an advantage. Then we have Alex Hitchens, Will Smith's character from Hitch. He's just like a regular dude. He's a professional matchmaker or date doctor, quote unquote. He's an expert at teaching men to woo women. And then we have Deadshot, who's not superhuman, just like a regular guy with some cool gadgets. He is the best marksman in DC Comics. He, quote unquote, never misses. He's a tactical, this is all from Wikipedia. He's a tactical genius. He's a demolitions expert. And he's a skilled at hand-to-hand combat. He's gone toe-to-toe with Batman and Deathstroke, who are some of the best in the business there. So pretty good there. But he's also just like a normal guy. He's just really good at stuff. Hitch, also just a regular dude, doesn't have any magical powers. Cupid's got to do both things.
Okay, so what's the plot of the match again?
Part of it is just a regular match, and then the other part is making 2 randomly selected audience members agree to a date.
And that happens at the same time, or you have to win the match and then you have to do the matchmaking?
I figured we could talk about this because I didn't think it out fully, because I realized that's 2 things, because you could win one and lose the other one,
right.
and I don't know what happens.
So like if they...
So I was kind of thinking maybe both have to happen, or like maybe you have to get maybe each team has a couple.
I was
and
just
they
gonna
have
say,
to get both of.
I was just gonna
once
say,
they do that, then they can complete the actual fight.
Yeah,
I think maybe that's what it is.
they have to convince the date, and then
convince the couple to go on a date. Once that's complete, then they can finish the match. But I think the match is kind of happening simultaneously too. But they have to do the first one. Like a pin doesn't matter until they get the date agreed to.
And it's just a date. It doesn't have to be like the date goes well, or it's just
it has to be like
has to be 2 consenting adults.
Yeah, they can't just like slip them a 50 and say, hey, go on a date. It's got to be like actual. They're attracted to each other. Hey, let's do it. I'm into this guy. They're into me. Let's do. Let's do it. Let's do.
You've stumped me this whole episode.
So we got a love-makey guy and a shooty guy, and then we got Cupid, who's both.
A love-makey shooty guy.
A love-makey shooty guy. I think Cupid obviously has an advantage in the love. I was almost going to say love-making, the matchmaking side, because he can just fire an arrow and people fall in love. But it may be an issue because if he fires an arrow, technically, I don't know how much control he has over that thing. Like, I don't know if you can just like write somebody's name on it and then shoot it, and then that's the only person they're in love with, or if it's like the first person they see, or if it's everybody in the room. Because if you got a room full of like, 40,000 people or however many people are here tonight, you might have an issue. He's fallen in love with a dozen people, all the people in his section of the arena here. Or is it targeted? Can he just say, like, that guy, fall in love with that guy, and then he fires an arrow?
So are we going to identify the people that have agreed on the date? Or
right now? Do we want to do that now? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. Like, or was your plan just to have it just two randos that we don't give a shit about?
I mean, I wrote it down as randos. Do you want to assign some people? Do you want to have some people here? You're smirking. I feel like you got an idea.
I don't have any ideas, actually. But I think it'd be better to come up with, or at least try to come up with some hypothetical couples.
Yeah. Like, what are you thinking? Like there's some celebrities in the audience?
I don't know.
Or just like random people? What if it was the people from the matches, the prior matches of the night? Like, what if they had to make, I don't know, Juliette Lewis and Kevin Hart?
That would be pretty funny.
Or both of the Nielsen's. Both Brigitte Nielsen's have to, after having that match, they have to agree to a date afterward.
Hell.
Or maybe Brigitte Nielsen and Gary Valentine. That'd be a tough one. Anyway, you just want to do randos?
I think so. That's going to be easier to think of.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless you want to do unless you want to throw in some of the previous competitors here. I think we can just do random people. Just we do it like an audience drawing.
Yeah.
If you're in section 102, seat Q11 and P4, come to the front of the stage.
So obviously Cupid's going to get that down first.
Yeah.
So like, if Cupid gets that on first, while is he just sitting in the ring like video game menu style?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think the match is going on kind of simultaneously. That's why it adds like that extra wrinkle. You kind of have to do both. Okay, but the first one has to get done first. The matchmaking thing has to get done first. But both of them are. So like, Deadshot can be attacking Cupid while he's trying to matchmake up there, while he's shooting his arrows off. Okay, and then Cupid could be like messing with Hitch.
But you can't win the match until you get a date set up.
Yeah, the match doesn't end until that's complete, and then you get a pin.
So he's just doing enough damage to kind of fuck him up.
Yeah, he's like, he can distract him while he's doing that.
Until the match starts, and then it's pretty much an easy match after that.
Yeah, because once you get yours done, like once if Hitch got his date agreed to, then they can go after Cupid. Even if Cupid's not done yet, they can pin him. So that can be done. It doesn't have to be. Both of them have to be done. It's like once you get that done, then you can get your pin.
I think this is pretty one-sided again, because Cupid doesn't really have a mean streak in him. Like, he doesn't really have anything to like.
But he's also a god. He's like basically immortal. It's like a kid Thor. I feel like regular weapons don't really hurt him very much. You'd have to really come at him with like everything you got. And Hitch doesn't bring much to the table. And Deadshot's just a dude with extra stuff. So I feel like they're going to be able to distract him a little bit. And then that was my other thing with Cupid. I don't know exactly how those arrows work. Mm-hmm. So he may not be able to just like fire it off and done. That might add a wrinkle if he's firing off an arrow and then that person just falls in love with all 12 people sitting around him. Might be some distractions there. I don't know how targeted those things are. That's what I was saying earlier. So I don't know how easy it is how easy it's going to be for him to actually set up that date. He might have to be a little more strategic about it. And then if Deadshot's over there like firing missiles at him or whatever, trying to snipe him, he just like keeps getting like it's like he's getting hit with like a pebble. Meanwhile, Hitch is just up there like being Will Smith charming, talking him through it.
Man, I sound very unprepared this episode, but I have no idea where to start with this one.
I feel like the matchmaking part is pretty much a wash. I feel like pretty much anytime there's like an extra stipulation or extra part of a match, it's just like a fun thing to do beforehand.
Yeah, it's a thing that's going to happen. It has no effect on the match, but I think you're right. I think they do a little bit of a damage on Cupid.
Yeah, they can go 2-on-1 there, where Deadshot.
They don't even have to go 2-on-1. Like,
I just mean like Hitch can focus on his part. Deadshot can focus on just playing spoiler to Cupid over here.
Yeah,
Cupid's just one guy. He can fly, so he can get around pretty quick, but he's just one guy, so he's not going to be able to do both simultaneously.
Yeah, and honestly, I think while Cupid's trying to shoot his arrows, Deadshot's just shooting them out of the air.
Ooh, that's a good.
Because he is a Deadshot.
That's a good thought.
I just like
he's dead. Like he can hit stuff on the run. He can hit stuff, and ooh, that's a nice thing. He's gonna have to like get right up in there and just like stab it into his butt or something to get that arrow in there. He's not gonna be able to fire it off.
I'm cooking now.
Ooh, I like that's a good wrinkle. Yeah, so Cupid's just gonna have to get on the ground.
So I think that's what happens. He is just shooting the arrows out of the sky.
Yeah.
While Hitch is doing his thing. Hitch gets the job done.
Yeah.
Gets these two people to agree on a date. They leave the show to go on their little date.
They have fun. Well, they meet into the back, and then they meet Will Smith from Men in Black. He wipes their brains, and then they come out and watch the rest of the match.
Oh, that's right.
What the hell happened?
That's right. Okay.
What I missed?
Yeah. Who are these guys?
Who are those guys?
So while that's happening, and they're still just fucking with Cupid, I think.
Yeah, they're just messing with. Eventually, I think he figures out. It's like, well, I just got to be boots on the ground here. I just got to like fire it from like half a mile or half a cent or
at this point
measurements half a centimeter. That's the word.
At this point, he's just stabbing dudes.
Yeah, I got to get somebody.
He just stabs two dudes or two. I mean, could be a heterosexual, could be a gay couple. It doesn't matter. He just stabs
people.
Two people. The two people that are next to him gets him with the arrow. Guess what? You're going on a date. Don't care.
Well, I think they're chosen beforehand. So he's got two specific people. They're not choosing the people to put on a date.
That's
it's
right.
like they draw random people.
That's right.
So here's Cupid's two people. Here's Hitch's two people.
And they're like on opposite sides of the arena. So he's got to put forth a lot of effort to.
So he's just got to like, hey, bud, and he's got to he's just got to stab probably both of them in the butt. Then they got the strongest attraction.
I feel like a good counter to the getting the arrow shot out of the air would be to fire like 2 or 3 decoy arrows.
And
he
does the multi-shot thing where you put 3 arrows on the thing.
And he's just shooting them in a random area, and while Deadshot's worriing all that, then he gets the person way up in the rafters.
Yeah, fires off a quick one. Yeah.
So that's how he gets. Mm-hmm. So now we're on to the match.
Yeah.
And Cupid has exerted a lot of energy.
He's got wings, but they're basically like bird wings.
Yeah.
They're just real tough bird wings.
Right.
But I feel like a sniper can probably pick off a few of those feathers too, so he's not going to be able to fly all that well by the time the actual match starts. And then, Hitch might be able to distract him again, but again, he's just a regular dude. So it's basically just a damaged Cupid, probably a frustrated Cupid, getting all his arrows shot out of the air.
Yeah.
He's probably frustrated, might not be thinking too clearly, versus Deadshot, who's just a tactical genius. But again, just a dude with some good hardware.
Regardless of him being a god or not, he's exerted a lot of energy.
Yeah.
But he is also a god.
He's a god. He's a young god. He's like a 8-year-old boy as a god.
But gods can be defeated.
Yeah.
And oh my goodness.
I feel like being the tactical guy that he is, Deadshot might be able to like fire off a couple of trick shots to get some of the infrastructure of the building to fall, or weaken a little bit. Maybe it gets part of the roof to fall on him, because that's probably the only way they're going to be able to pin him. He's just so strong. So he's probably doing that, but he's got to be real strategic about it, so the whole building doesn't come down on everybody. Maybe he enlists Hitch's help. He's like, "Hey, bud, you did your part, but I can't take this guy myself, so you gotta help me out here. I'll keep him distracted with my little pea shooter here." It's like throwing spitballs at him because they don't hurt him all that much.
Yeah.
So I'll keep him distracted, keep his eyes on me while you go loosen some bolts. or like clear a section of the audience so we can take him down right there.
Loosen some bolts.
Yeah. So it's about like super strategy and a little bit of numbers game versus super strength, speed, and durability.
Man, oh man. I think I was going to say I'm thinking, but I don't even know what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I don't know, man. I really don't know where to go with this one. Do you like what are you thinking? I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I don't know. I thought maybe I'd come up with something by this point, because my first thought was Cupid, just kind of initial gut reaction. But I feel like I'm slowly talking myself away from it.
Right.
Because he's youthful, he's immature.
I think
but
I'm
it's just that strength factor that he's literally a deity.
At the beginning, when you announced this match, at the beginning, I was leaning Deadshot, the Smith, Wills.
Yeah, the Wills.
And I think I'm still kind of leaning Wills. Like you said, I think the strategy of shooting the arrows out of the sky.
Yeah, it's going to slow him down,
frustrate him, and he's prone to mistakes because he's a young child.
Youthful, yeah.
He's a young god or whatever.
Uh-huh.
He's still a god, so he's going to be like really, really, really tough to bring down.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I think.
But Deadshot's got a ton of weaponry in his suit.
Right.
Yeah, he's real high tech.
Like Hitch is just like pointless.
Yeah.
Like he's
he can maybe run some distractions, and also Cupid could probably fire off those arrows at those guys too.
Yeah.
Get him distracted. You put an arrow in Hitch's butt, now he's falling in love with any audience member he runs across. So that could be something too. Then he's out of commission basically. I don't know that the arrows would penetrate Deadshot's like suit of whatever he's got on his armor suit. So I feel like he's probably
because the arrows
probably
are
impervious to that. But
the arrows are just like they're soft enough to just pierce the skin but not hurt.
Do you think maybe he's like in the back, like grinding them down? He's grinding down the. I always imagine Cupid shooting arrows that the arrowhead looks like a heart, right? Like that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're not gonna. They don't really penetrate very hard.
Yeah,
they're almost like the suction cup arrows from when you were a kid.
He's got it like in the kiln. And and then he's just like pounding the heart with the hammer on the anvil.
Yeah. Yeah. He's trying to sharpen those as much as he can, just so we can try to penetrate some of that armor.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think maybe he just like bum rushes him. He can fly. Oh, we also said that Deadshot probably took out some of his feathers, so he might not be flying all that much.
That's
true. He kind of got what do they call that? They get his wings clipped. Is that what they call them with birds?
Or at least shot a hole through one of them. Like
he's definitely not flying as easy.
He's definitely got some
was.
wounded wings.
Yeah, he's not flying as smoothly, as quickly as he wants.
They took out the aerial game.
Yeah. So he's basically just on the ground. He might be like a chicken. He might be able to like flap a couple, get like a good couple of flaps.
That is an amazing visual.
Just gets a run. Maybe has like a big, just like one big jump. He can jump pretty far now, but he's not really flying anymore.
Yeah.
Like when you scare a turkey, and then it just goes about 20 feet and then has to come down. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe he just like bum rushes him a couple of times. I don't know if that's how much damage that does. I feel like since he's pretty strong, it's probably gonna hurt Deadshot quite a bit. But they might be able to distract him enough to kind of take him down before he really does enough damage. And up close, I don't know how much like a high-powered sniper rifle would hurt a god, even a pudgy baby god.
Which you
described you as earlier.
Discreetly described me earlier. Basically, your nice way of calling me fat, I guess.
I was calling you Cupid.
Shut up! No, don't spin it.
No.
You put a little too much emphasis on the pudgy part.
Technically, I said chubby, but that's okay.
Oh well. Yeah.
Chubby kid with an archery set.
Yeah.
I mean, you also don't have an archery set, so what are we even talking about here?
Chubby kid with an archery set.
Yeah, that's Cupid.
Every parent's dream.
Oh man. So Yeah, I don't know. Where are we at here? Have we gotten any
I don't
closer
think
to a
we got
decision?
anywhere.
I feel like we're still just like right down the middle.
Yeah,
We've made progress, but we've gotten closer to like a dead even heat here.
I think the Wills, man.
You think the Wills?
Yeah,
they probably have the brain power, basically like a unstoppable force, immovable object
I feel like
type
if
of thing
Cupid
here.
was older and a little bit more seasoned,
Yeah, probably.
I think the youthfulness just kind of comes into play here too much.
Kind of like what we were saying with the minor 49er and the My Believe Valentine minor.
Right.
Definitely got the physical advantage, but he's just like mentally not very strategic. But I think these guys are a lot more skilled, a lot more capable than the minor 49er was. So they're going to be able to actually take advantage of it and put him down that way.
Agreed.
I think ultimately Hitch is loosening some bolts, and then he clear like gets it loose enough. He's like, okay, that beam right there, the one you told me, is loose. It's ready to go. And then like Cupid comes running with one of his like chicken flappy things. He's about to just like hip check him, dead shot, and he does like one of those like ole things where he misses, like was that bullfighting?
Yeah.
Ole, and he just like misses, and then he fires off a shot at like the last bolt holding that beam on up above the ring. Or it's like it's a wrestling ring, right? So there's probably what we didn't see tonight was that there was actually a cage match earlier. So the cage is still dangling above the ring, and that's what Hitch was loosening. He was loosening those bolts, holding the cage above the ring. So he hits the last chain, and that whole thing just comes tumbling down onto Cupid, and now he's trapped because he's got this whole metal cage on him, and then they just walk over, put a foot down, and pinned.
Yeah.
Does this sound good to you?
That sounds good.
I think that makes sense.
I'm with you.
Brains over brawn,
Yeah, for sure.
and two guys over one chubby little god.
That could be taken a number of ways, but okay.
I did not think of that. Oh, yeah. Okay. Ding, ding. And that's the show. We hope you liked it as much as Bran loves his new haircut. And you can pay that love forward by sharing this podcast with friends, family, lovebirds, lobsters, the recently divorced. You can find us on Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get podcasts. So don't forget to subscribe on your platform of choice so you never miss a new episode. You can give us a rating and leave us a review. That really helps us get seen out there on all those platforms. The best way to spread the word, though, is just telling somebody you know. Maybe attach a link to the episode on that heart-shaped box of chocolates. That's romantic, right? You can like us on Facebook and follow us at CCWisePod on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Twitter. You can follow me on just about everything at Tyler_W. Where can everyone find you out there, Brando?
I'm on Twitter at BWise23. I'm on TikTok at NotTheFakeBW, and I'm also on Instagram at NotTheFakeBrandonWise. So join us in a couple weeks, and we'll have a new episode of Counterclockwise for you.
And stay brawling.
Yo, Adrian, you see what this bitch Bridget doing? I went hillbilly there at the end. Man, that was
Bridget, dude.
Yo.
Let me go grab my banjo.
Yo, Adrian.